Corruption actually can be tracked or it can be described through a mathematical formula, and this is somebody who's worked on corruption for decades has come out with this formula. His name is Robert Klitgard. He says corruption C is equal to M plus D minus A. Corruption is equal to monopoly plus discretion minus accountability. And what Robert Klitgard says is that if these conditions exist, whether it is a decentralized system, whether it's a centralized system, or whether it's a public system or a private system, there will be a tendency for corruption to emerge. Now let me just explain. When something is a monopoly, then obviously you have nowhere to go to, like the taxation system. I mean, it's a monopoly. So you cannot go to a non-corrupt competitor. But let us look at the registration system. Earlier, all this was true of the registration system. But today there is a guidance value. So you have to pay the tax in accordance with the guidance value. And B, there is a citizens charter in which the registration department says they will complete the task of registration within 2 hours and 20 minutes. So there is no discretion really. So actually, I would imagine that the registration system, at least from a systemic point of view, has become less corruption prone. But the registration department still pretends to have the discretion and demands a bribe, and we citizens, because we don't do our homework, continue to pay our bribes because it's more a sense of inertia. It's more a question of habit. We just continue to pay. I joined the IAS in 1983, and the motivation for joining the IAS was that I wanted to marry my girlfriend, which was achieved in 1985. But once I joined the job after the initial training, and when I was posted to Karnataka, I discovered that there's plenty to do and a lot of exciting work to do. The good thing about the IAS is that it gives you an incredible variety in terms of job content. I mean, one day you could be hobnobbing with the richest people in the land in a 5-star hotel, and the same evening you could actually be in a slum or in a village dealing with people who had genuine concerns, and all of them are Indians. And so the kind of intellectual stimulation that the IAS provides in terms of challenges to be handled, dealing with situations as they happen, I don't think any other job in India, even today, can offer one that kind of experience. The downside about being in the IAS is that the country cannot be run by 3,000 IAS officers, but a lot of IAS officers believe that it can. I think there's enormous concentration of power. So if an IAS officer goes wrong somewhere, then there's no accountability virtually, and there can be serious damage to the country. Janagraha offered me the opportunity to work on both these things. These two aspects of governance are very close to my heart. One is to clean up, to do something positive to clean up corruption, and the second is to push for decentralization. And Janagraha, I felt, was an organization where one could do this in a very systematic way. And I think the important difference with Janagraha as compared to other non-profits is that Janagraha brings a systems approach to tackling these. Well, good ideas came together, and then we discovered that around this basic initial push of looking at discovering the market price of corruption by getting people to report, you could add on a lot of other corruption related services. You could provide a place where advice could be given to people, where how they can avoid bribe paying situations. You could create analytics, and then you could go back to the government and actually tell the government that this is what citizens think, and from citizen suggestions, this is what we believe are the systemic changes that you must bring about so that you reduce the possibilities of corruption.